Welcome back. If these crisp fall days make you want to curl up with a warm cup of soup, then our next guest has just the ticket. Chef Toby Knightis is here to show us how to make some of his favorite comfort foods. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Brad. How are you?
I'm very well. You know, you and I have known each other longer than I care to admit. I've frequented your establishments for years, and one thing you do very well, among many things, is comfort food. When I think Toby, I think comfort food.
It is my thing, mainly because that's what I grew up with. A lot of the foods that my mother cooked, my father cooked. My father was a great cook. My aunt cooked. It was all heavy, not necessarily heavy, but warming, comforting East European food, and that's what I tend to like when I want to just cook something for myself. So
stick to your ribs kind of stuff.
Stick to your ribs kind of stuff.
Speaking of ribs, I have to mention, I don't know if you were watching the show earlier, but when we were promoting your segment coming up, you stood back like this.
That's my hip-hop move.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were disappointed that Roxanne isn't here then.
Oh, no, not at all.
What are we making this morning, Toby?
Well, we're going to make Papa al Pomodoro. Now, this is Papa al Pomodoro.
This sounds interesting.
A Tuscan bread and garlic soup flavored with tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for me, there's comfort food all over the world, of course. And it really depends on where you grew up and where you came from, what comfort food is. Comfort food is anything that really just makes you feel good. For some people, it could be sushi.
Right.
For me, it's something like this that is very warm and very inviting.
You know, we were talking earlier, sometimes I just like to get some stewed tomatoes and heat them up and eat it like soup. I love tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you'll love this soup. And actually, as I recommended to you, tear some bread into your stewed tomatoes next time.
Okay.
It adds a nice little texture to it. And that's what this is. This is meant to use leftover bread from like days before. And some tomatoes. We're using canned tomatoes today, but you can use fresh tomatoes if you have some nice fresh ones.
Now, are you supposed to remove the mold from the bread before you put it in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's the kind of bread I have.
Not that old bread.
Okay.
But we can talk a little bit about the tomatoes, because what I brought are 3 different kinds of tomatoes over here that are all very good for this recipe. This one right here, I'll use my little knife to point. This one is an American tomato from Hunt's, which is a petite diced tomato, which is what I have in the bowl, and I'll show you when we pour it in. And then the Cento is also an American tomato, but it's done in an Italian style in the way that they're grown and the way they're packed. It's a very dense, very rich tomato.
And is it diced like the other?
No, that's a whole tomato.
Okay.
And then I have another whole tomato right here, which is an imported tomato from Italy. And the prices range from, I think it was like a dollar something for the Hunt's tomato to like $3 for the imported tomato. It all depends on what you want to use. You're going to get a good product out of this soup with any of those tomatoes, basically.
And for this soup, you prefer the diced tomatoes, the Hunt? That's what
I do, just for the simplicity of it.
Okay.
Because I'm adding so many other things to the soup. The tomato isn't as important as it would be like for a tomato sauce.
Right.
But when I really want to make a great soup, I'll make my own bread, and I'll use the great Italian tomatoes, and I'll make my own chicken stock.
Wow.
So,
okay.
But today we're taking a few shortcuts.
By the way, this is a 1-minute soup, you said?
It takes about 1 minute to throw together. It's a very quick soup. You can have these ingredients around. This is stuff that you should have around your house anyway. If you have a good pantry, this is what you should have in your pantry anyway. These kind of products, and you can throw it together last minute.
Okay, we have 2 minutes, so I'm a slow learner. Perhaps we can get it done in 2
slowly.
minutes. Okay.
What I did is I pre-cut some bread, and what we're using is, in the traditional Tuscan soup, Tuscan bread is a wheat bread that is unsalted. Now that's very hard to find in this country, but what I found was this very dense, very rich multi-grain bread that works very, very well for the soup. It adds a lot of nutty characters to it, which you like.
Where did you get this bread?
This I don't remember where I got this bread. I think I got this bread at Rainbow.
Okay. All right.
One of the keys to the soup is olive oil. You need a good extra virgin olive oil, and you need a lot of it, because the bread, you can dump the bread in now. The bread will absorb a lot of the olive oil. And what we're going to do is we're going to toast the bread in the olive oil, kind of fry it up a little bit, and get that even nutty bread even nuttier through toasting it. And then the next great key to this is how you cut your garlic. I don't know if you remember seeing the movie Goodfellas, where they were slicing the garlic with a razor very thin.
Right.
That's actually a very well-known technique in Italian cooking, because what that does, it allows the garlic to melt into the whatever you're doing, whether it's a soup or a sauce. So you just slice it very, very thin. And we put the garlic in after the bread because we don't want the garlic to burn. Just toss that around a little bit. Now you can see that the bread's already starting to toast up a little bit in there.
That looks good by itself.
Actually, that you could just put that aside and put that on a salad. They make great croutons. We'll add our tomatoes. Now, as I told you, this is that pre-diced product, and it comes already diced in very small pieces. We'll stir that up, sending up great clouds of steam. And then we put in our chicken stock. Now, today I'm using a canned chicken stock, but if you've got a nice homemade chicken stock that you make, I know Roxanne makes chicken soup all the time.
I think that's my favorite.
She couldn't stay away. Doesn't this look good?
Yeah, Toby, where did I get that chicken soup recipe from?
I think it was me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's it?
That's it. Now you're done. Now all you have to do is cover it and let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and that's what you get.
Oh,
A
go
nice,
ahead and label
thick,
that out,
rich soup.
Bradley.
That we're going to have to put a little cheese over.
Okay. What
You
kind of
get-
cheese did you
this
bring?
This is a good
That's enough.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Okay.
It's got a good amount of. We put a little salt and pepper in the soup. We already have some in this one,
Okay.
but there you go.
Alright.
That looks delicious.
Bradley,
Very,
there you
very
are.
simple. And
All
that's the soup today.
All right. Well,
Today's soup.
1 minute soup in 4 minutes. That's pretty good. All right. Well, for a copy of today's recipe, send a self-addressed envelope to the address on your screen. You can also go online to care11.com. Please search under the soup category, and for more great recipes, cooking classes, and cookbook reviews, check out Toby's website at tobysfood.com.
You know
Toby is a very busy man.
He is, and you know what he does well, and I heard you overheard this in the segment, is he takes ingredients that you already have in the pantry that are
Yeah.
already sitting around the house, and you make them extra special,
Yeah.
which is what you've done with this
Very
soup.
simple.
Thank you, Toby.
You're a special guy, Toby.
Speaking of special, we're going to, straight ahead, we're going to talk to Roaster Bob's in the house, and he's going to show us how to brew the perfect cup of coffee at home.
We like that, and later we'll tell you about a special Estee Lauder event taking place tomorrow at the Mall of America to help fight against breast cancer, so stay tuned.